You can't remember the last time you rested, or if slowing down makes you feel guilty, like you should be doing something useful, this episode is for you. We're going to talk about how to separate what you do from who you are. Welcome to the XO Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Grishma Walji. Here we talk about how to build emotional resilience, not just to get through life, but to actually go after it and to enjoy it in the process.
So my name is Jess and I love tea in all varieties, warm tea and cold tea. I'm not a coffee person, but give me a cup of tea.
We live in a world where productivity is the default. It is baked into us. Do more, make more, prove more. Rest has to be justified. You can't just relax, you have to earn it. And if you stop for too long, you start to feel lazy, unmotivated, behind. That's the world Jess lived in too. Until one day, 15 days into the new year, she fell.
It's January, start of 2025. I'm ready to jump into the year, new me, And 15 days and I slip on the steps and broke my foot. And I'm a mom and a business owner, and balancing those roles got all put to a halt. I had to not walk on my foot for 6 weeks. And so it really just put a big wrench in just the daily flow of life and not being able to do the things, right? And it was the simple things like make breakfast, make the lunches, do the laundry, even pick up my son. I couldn't do those things.
6 weeks might not sound like forever, but when you're used to being the one who holds everything together, it can feel like a lifetime.
Yeah. At first I was in total disbelief and I was like, just give me some ice. And I proceeded to go out to dinner. I went with a broken foot. I didn't know it was broken at the time. I'm like, it was fine. I'm going to sleep it off. I'm going to wake up and be fine. Right. I wake up and it hurts more. And I'm like, oh no. So then I go to the doctor. They're like, yeah, it's broken. And that's when it really set in of in order to heal fully, I need to take this seriously. I can't just push past.
This sounds so familiar to me. A number of years ago, I went on vacation with my husband to Brazil and I sprained my ankle. And we were supposed to go to this amazing place, Parque Nacional dos Lençóis Maranhenses. I hope I said that correctly. It's essentially miles of beautiful rolling sand dunes. I was thinking there is no way I am missing this. So I taped up my foot and I explored, walking on very uneven sand, which was definitely not a good idea. Back then I thought it was because I didn't want to miss out on my vacation, but who knows, maybe also I didn't know how to slow down or rest. And there's probably some truth to that because I've had many situations in real life since then where I probably do need rest and I don't take it. Getting better at it, thankfully. For Jess, she didn't have a choice. She had to stop. And because of that pause in her life, she found something that most of us are too busy to notice.
Yeah, so it shifted in my mind of fully accepting that if I'm going to heal, I need to prioritize myself. And what that looked like was giving away the things that I normally do. And it really was in that the physical tasks, the making the breakfast, the getting my son ready for school, the driving him to school, right? Giving those over to my husband, who was more than capable and happy to support that. And so after about a week of that, I had a full meltdown. Rishma, I woke up in the morning crying and my husband's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know how to be without all of those tasks. What is my worth if I'm not doing these things for other people? And how am I providing value if I'm not doing, right? If I'm not doing these things. I was really identifying and finding my worth in that. It was really a full stop moment of still working through the accepting that I'm worthy no matter what I do. Right? The worth is not in the doing.
Jess basically asked herself, who am I if I am not doing all the things? And that's something that many of us have experienced at some point. Not knowing who we are if we don't do things. Because for so many of us, our worth has gotten tangled up in our usefulness. We stopped resting, we stopped playing, we stopped reading for fun, and somewhere along the way, Busyness became a badge of honor. But that badge, it comes with a cost. And it is a fine line because oftentimes there are actually a lot of things that need to get done. So it's really hard sometimes to separate what needs to get done and when we can actually put it to the side. By the way, if you're listening and you're thinking, that's me, I do not know how to rest, take my free capacity assessment. It'll help you see where your energy is going and where you might be giving too much. You can grab it at livingxo.com/resources.
Yeah, so it was really a lesson in acceptance and accepting support, accepting help.
It's definitely not easy to ask for help or to admit that you need help or even to let someone else help you, especially when they do it very differently than you do it. Jess said that accepting help is the one thing that really made it easier for her to take control over her time and ask herself why she needed to do all the things. Instead, she started to change the way she responded to things. So before saying yes, she was able to really think differently about what she was agreeing to.
Like, am I doing this because it brings me joy and I want to be doing this? Or am I doing this because it's filling some part of me that feels like I need to prove something or I need validation in some way? And so it's been a really big gift to now have that lens to like walk through of like how, especially in the way that I relate with other people and like my relationships, like, am I doing this to like people please or to feel worthy in some way? Or is this something I'm choosing to do because it's for me?
Take a moment and ask yourself, is there something that you could ask for help with? Is there something that you're doing, but maybe you don't need to be doing it? Are you doing certain things because they make you feel worthy in some way? I have this thing where I like to read fiction before bed, and it helps me sort of unwind and go to sleep. Also, I just really like reading. I love reading books, and I enjoy them. And I always used to feel like it was such a guilty pleasure. I thought I had to be doing something important and valuable with my time. I should be working or doing the dishes or reading some medical book or bonding with my family. And then sometimes my husband would come in the room and he would ask me, hey, what you doing? What are you reading? And he was completely just being curious and chatty and, wanting to just like connect. And I would be like, nothing. I don't know, maybe I was embarrassed about the fact that I was reading fiction or that I was indulging in me time. It took me a while to realize that it's okay to just read for pleasure. Why does it have to be guilty?
And honestly, Rishma, like this is the first time in my life, I'm 37, almost 38 years old. Like it's the first time in my life that I've even considered that. It was always growing up like, we do things for other people. You always put other people first. And like, that's a great, I understand why I was raised that way and I have compassion for that. But now in the position that I'm in, it's like, I'm an adult, I can make my own decisions and those decisions need to be driven by me and it's not selfish. It's just that this is my life now to live and really kind of just shifting that. And it's in the little things. It's in the saying yes to being on, the school board or saying no to that or saying yes to attending a party or saying no. And it's in those little ways I've been able to find what I say is my worth because those are the things that I'm choosing to do and bring me joy.
Jess is setting boundaries, but it's more than that. She's realizing that she doesn't need to be productive or helpful in order to be worthy. She's also realizing that she doesn't need to say yes to everything. First, she needs to figure out how much she can handle, how much she can give, and if it's something that she can make space for right now.
I just had this situation with my son's school where they need volunteers to really step into more of a leadership role. And it's just too much for me to take on right now. Like, I don't have the capacity. I want to. I love his school. I love supporting them, but like, I don't have the capacity that they need. And I had to say no a couple of times because they kept asking. And so it was a hard no every time. And every time I felt a full sense of like relief, but also like I had more energy available to do the things that I need to do for like my business or for myself. And so no, if you had asked me a year ago, I would have been like, oh, I feel so guilty. But now I feel much lighter and full of energy.
Sometimes when we learn to rest or give ourselves space to recover, when we change how we do things or how we prioritize things in life, it takes changing our perspective on what's good or bad, what's valuable or not valuable. I asked Jess on how she's managing to be present and maybe less productive, but still managing to keep chasing her goals and pursuing things that are important to her. And what she said was counterintuitive.
So as a woman, I've always, had this funky relationship with my body, feeling like, like I've run marathons. I've just always done the physical thing to keep in shape. And then having a broken foot and literally not being able to move, I came out of that being like, I don't want to wake up early to go run. And I did for a while during rehab of my foot. Like I would get up really early, like 4:30 in the morning to get to this pool, to swim. And there just came a day where I was like, what am I doing? And so that's where it started of like, why am I doing this thing that just is feeling more draining than supportive? And so, and it's still, we are months and months away, like 9 months into this year. And I like let myself wake up naturally. I don't work out in the morning, and I give myself that time to like journal or meditate or just lay on the ground and like stretch. And it's so much more supportive. I walk into the day feeling so much more energized than I did before, where I was getting up and trying to force like a run or whatever. And so that's kind of where the productivity shifted for me, was when my body couldn't move, and then how did that translate once it could move again. I find that I'm actually more productive when I give myself time to rest. And I can get more done with more clarity when I have that balance, rather than like, I'm a list person. So if I have like all my lists out and they're, I'm trying to get things checked off, and it just feels so much more scrambled. And I've also really prioritized movement with my son. Like I never thought about that as a form of movement, but when I am with him, I'm able to like move and jump in with him with it, rather than watching him play. And so that's given me a whole new like aspect with him that's been really fun. And I feel like our connection has gotten so much stronger. And so rather than cutting it out, just maximizing the opportunities that I do have that feel really supportive.
Productivity is easy to measure. Worth isn't. Maybe that's why we chase one and forget the other.
Yeah, it still feels like something I'm learning, right? Like it isn't second nature yet, but when I can be present with it and really allow myself to be instead of do, I feel like I've always wanted to feel. Like I knew this was always possible, where I can feel like clear-headed and aligned and rested and happy. And so when I'm in that, but it is something I'm trying to like untrain my brain. So it feels good to be here, and I'm like working for it every day.
The next time you start to measure your day by how much you got done, try this instead. Ask yourself, how much of me was actually present? It's not about stopping work necessarily. It's about stopping the belief that the work makes you worthy. Here's a question for you. If you could take out the guilt, what's something that you would do just for yourself, just for rest, just for no other reason, but for maybe just being present and enjoying it? Let me know in the comments. What's something that you would do just for you? Take out all of the guilt. I would love to know. If you're enjoying this podcast, please leave a 5-star review. It really means a lot and goes a long way. And don't forget to grab my free resources at livingxo.com/resources. Take good care. Until next time.